Hey guys, I'm here to show you how I do the technology I do in class. So this I think should really help you provide a quick, easy class that's pretty foolproof, that lets you just show up, run a great class, and take off without having to think about the class really outside of the teaching time, which I think is really great because we're all busy and we need to be able to feel comfortable doing this class without a lot of preparation. So I basically use three technologies. I use an attendance sheet, I use this ladder system, and I use ChessKid. And you can see them all up here in the tabs. I'm going to describe how I typically do a class chronologically and show you how I use these tools. First off, I'm going to use ChessKid. I'm going to show you at the end what are some of my favorite things about ChessKid that I use regularly in classes, but right now I'm just going to show you where I start, which is after I get in, I set up the computer, I'm there before the kids are. I'm going to pull up some puzzles, so as the kids start showing up, they can do some puzzles over here. So I'll have some of these up, and in this case they're a little easy. I'll have the kids solving them, as there's one kid, two kid, three kids, four kids before everyone's there, so I'm not really ready to start a full lesson yet. Okay, so I can give them as many as I want. I'll show you two things I can do with puzzles to really customize it. One is if I go to my settings, which you'll find here on your home page, there is a setting for games and puzzles, and I can select the rating that I want to give the kids. I make the puzzles unrated, and I can say, give me 400 to 700 rated puzzles, give me 800 to 1200, or I can even say, give me like 2500 level puzzles if I really want to do something that's really just a challenge for the kids that's kind of fun and probably way, way too hard. But I always have kids asking, what would be like a super hard puzzle? Then I can also, I want to go to learn. If I go to puzzles over here, learn puzzles, I can pick themes. So I might do this, for example, if last week we had watched a video on back rank checkmates. There is a great video on back rank checkmates. I might start next week with puzzles on back rank checkmates. And so I can pick any theme I want from here. There are a ton. And I can only go and do that theme with the kids when I do the puzzles, and that's really, really useful. It's an easy way to teach them that. Once I've done puzzles and I've got everyone in the classroom, I'm going to go over and do the attendance sheet. So this might look different because it's the new Google Forms. If you've used the Google Forms previous to this, you just need to make sure to go over, select preview, and you can check everyone off who's there that day. And if anyone is there who is not on your attendance sheet, then you're going to want to type that name in up here so that we know that this student was here and we really need to get in touch with their parents and get them registered. Then I'll submit that and I'm good on attendance. Attendance is also a great way to learn the students' names. So I always make an effort to recognize and put a face to a name when I'm doing attendance, so that usually in a few weeks I really have everyone's name, which is great for connecting with the kids, and it's also great for classroom control, because if you ask a kid to be quiet by name, you're going to have a much better success rate than if you just ask for general quiet. So once I've got attendance done, let's leave this page because I don't want to submit it. I can go back over to ChessKid, and what I'm going to do next is invariably videos. I like to show a lot of videos in the class. I find them to be really great for teaching because the students can't interrupt a video. They're almost always wrapped and focused, they give great attention, and that's really hard to get when you're teaching the lesson. There are like 700 videos, and they're pretty much all good. Usually, obviously, you can start out with beginner and advanced videos, or beginner and intermediate, I mean. You might also just go to the library and select something relatively new that the kids may not have seen before. I sent out an email earlier that has a link to a ChessKid video guide. And if you just Google ChessKid video guide, it will come up. That lays out about 70 videos starting at the very basics and covering how the pieces move all the way up, from en passant to back rank checkmates to really nice strategy lessons like backwards pawns and things. If you need that link, send me an email or a message and I'll get you the link again. You can also go here to see video series, and there's a bunch of series laid out for you. So I use the videos a lot. They're quick, they're easy, they give great content. I can make it interactive by pausing at different points and asking questions, and we figure out the answer together before we proceed with the video. And it really makes for a wonderful, wonderful class that the kids enjoy, and it makes it easy on me and easy on you. Next up, I go to the ladder, and I'm going to pair the kids up. So once we've finished our lesson, it's time for games. The instructions for the ladder are over here. I think they're pretty straightforward once you get the hang of this, and the instructions should really walk you through it if you ever forget, how do I do this? Basically, to pair the players up, you're going to want to select them, make them bold, and you want to unbold anyone who's absent. Let's say that Cooper is absent this day. I'm going to take it out. He's not bold. He will not be paired. Then I just click on this big pairing button over here, and the players are automatically getting paired up like so. And the kids can actually watch the pairing happening in process. There are two things that are being considered as the kids are paired up here. One is that the system is looking at who is near who on the ladder. Usually it looks about 4 spots away. So for Trey, it considers Heath, Cooper, Aiden, and William as potential pairing partners. In this case, Trey played Aiden because he was near him on the ladder, 3 spots away, and I tested this earlier, and so Heath and Trey are considered to have 1 game against each other because when I tested it, it paired them before. So that's the second variable it looks at. I'll talk about that in a moment. And then Cooper was absent, so it went to Aiden. Aiden had 0 games against Trey and was near him on the ladder. Then Heath, again, we skip Cooper. Aiden's already paired. We go down to William, and they're paired up. The other variable besides how close they are on the ladder is how many times the students have played. You can actually go to the other sheet here, cross table, and look at that and see how many times the players have played on the cross table. And every time the pairings run, it updates this ladder right here, updates the cross table right here. So it's looking at how close they are on the ladder and how many times they've played. It's really quite simple, but it makes sure that the players are playing players who are near them in strength and that they're regularly playing different opponents. So it's super easy for you, and it gives the kids better games, and it's faster than trying to pair by hand. Once you've got all the games done and everything, you should keep a record of who won against a player higher than them on the ladder, or drew against a player higher than them on the ladder. And all you need to do is, let's say Aiden got a win against Trey. We would copy Aiden. I just hit Control-C. I would need to insert a new cell up here, and I would need to add Aiden there, and I could delete his old cell. Shift up. The way the ladder works is if you beat a player who is above you on the ladder, you get their spot and everyone bumps down. If you draw against a player who is above you on the ladder, I give you the spot below the player that you got to draw against. And obviously if you lose to a player who's higher rated than you on the ladder, nothing happens. This is a great way to organize pairings for the kids, and it is a great competition for the kids because they will start to care very much about moving up a little bit on the ladder. So I highly recommend using that to organize play. It makes the 30 minutes that they're playing games easier, more engaging, and more fun. So those are basically the 3 tools that I'm using. I'm going to take another moment and show you some things about ChessKid, but that is basically how I construct a class. So going back to ChessKid, these are what the kids are going to see, and it's pretty much what you see over here. There are a few things you might want to know. One, the play button obviously is the way to find games. Fast games are like 15-minute games with the clock running. Slow games are correspondence style games, usually 3 minutes per game. The computer has about 10 levels that the kids can try against. Level 1 for a brand new player will still be pretty difficult, but it hangs a lot of stuff. And level 10 is about master strength. And the kids can do tournaments. One question you might get is, why can't I do a tournament? And it's because they haven't played slow games yet. You got to get a rating based on at least 5 games, I think, to do tournaments. Learn is what I use a lot in the classroom. I use a lot of puzzles like we talked about. Don't really use vision, so I'm not going to worry about it. Lessons, I don't use in the classroom, but it's amazing for the kids. It walks them through a lot of videos with interactive questions to follow the videos that will take them from, knowing nothing to really being already like an 800 or 1000 level player. There's like 70 lessons and they're stupendous. Videos we already talked about. Articles are really for coaches and parents. You might be interested in some of them, but they're not for teaching. And workout is really useful for playing positions against the computer. I pretty much use this when I teach the queen mate or when I teach the ladder mate. You can practice these against the computer as a class, which is really easy and fun for the kids. Over here, I'll just mention that the kids are all in a school club. So for example, here is a school club for the Center for Knowledge, and all of the kids in Center for Knowledge are in there, and they can challenge each other, and they can see who has the top spot on the leaderboard and things like that. You don't really need to worry about it in the classroom unless there's enough kids participating that you can use the leaderboard to kind of encourage them by showing it each week. With the kids, if you are a guardian, one thing you might want to do is you can go to your kids' accounts. You can impersonate them. If you're not set up as a guardian and you want to be a guardian for your club kids, send me a message and I can enable that. But you can impersonate a kid and look at their account so you can act as a kid, which I do in the classroom a lot. When I want to try and get them using ChessKid, I'll pull up someone's account and I'll do puzzles from their account rather than the teaching account. I'm going back to my coach account, and I want to go to settings really quickly. And the last thing I'm going to show you is in settings, kids can change their avatar. There are thousands that they can pick from, and they can change their theme, choosing the background, the pieces, and the board. This seems like a small thing for the kids to mess around with, but they really do enjoy playing around with their avatar and theme. So that's something that I almost always show at some point when the kids are on ChessKid, and I often challenge them to pick something really cool and come and show it next week. Anyway, that's how I use the attendance sheets, the ladder, and ChessKid to organize my classes, and I think that it's really, really useful. It makes everything go easy. When the kids are showing up, they have puzzles, they're engaged. I do the attendance sheet. I don't have to lug around paper. Then I go to a video. I don't have to plan the material. I can make it interactive by pausing and asking questions. And then I use the ladder to organize play. And that's the end of the day. It's been a good day for the kids. It's been relatively easy for me. And, I've saved all of the attendance and I've saved the ladder results in the spreadsheet, and I'm good to go. And we're all ready for next week.